Hi, everybody, and welcome to our discussion of Chapter 6, which involves organizational ethics. In Chapter 6, we will look at how an organization can operationalize ethical programs. As usual, please be sure to review the chapter learning objectives for this chapter. In Chapter 6, we're going to attempt to classify an organization's cultural and ethical climate. We're going to recognize ethics challenges across multiple functions of businesses. We're going to look at how an organization can create effective ethics policies, ethics reporting and mechanisms, ethics training programs, and similar safeguards. We're going to assess the strengths and weaknesses of a comprehensive ethics program, and we're going to understand how to conduct business ethically in the global marketplace. A culture is defined as the way things are done around here. As we saw in the last chapter, corporate cultures are set at the top. Each organization has its own ethical climate, either explicit or implicit. A socially responsible organization should have an articulated and expressed ethical climate. Slide 5 illustrates the components of an ethical climate. What sort of ethical climate does a business or organization have? Egoism, where the focus is on the individual person, benevolence, where we have concern for others, or principle, where we look at personal morality. I would suggest that this is a process that goes on a continuum, and different organizations are at different places throughout their existence. Different parts of an organization may have different ethical codes. Many times it is important to balance and reconcile any differences between these areas of functionality. As noted here, the different functional areas that may have their own individual and potentially conflicting ethical codes are accounting, financial, marketing, and information technology. Accounting ethics came particularly to the forefront following the scandals surrounding Enron. We spent a lot of time looking at how violation of ethics in the accounting field could cause harm not only to the company itself, but to the stakeholders of the company as well. We also saw that violation of financial ethics, particularly in the fallout of the 2008 financial collapse, again could have devastating impact upon not only the organization itself, but stakeholders who are left in the wake and holding the bag. Marketing ethics come into play periodically as well in situations where a company or organization in its marketing fails to emphasize honesty and fairness in its advertising, especially towards children. As noted on the slide, the American Marketing Association's Code of Ethics suggests that in marketing, a company should do no harm, should foster trust, and should embrace ethical values. A relatively new area of ethical concerns for an organization involves information technology ethics. Ethical challenges in this field involve, as noted on the slide, invasions of privacy, not only for customers but also for employees, and the collection and storage of and access to personal and business information of employees, customers, and other stakeholders. Ethical behavior does not happen by accident. It must be intentional and it must be built into the organization. Two general approaches exist to build ethics into an organization. One of those approaches is what's known as compliance-based ethics. In this situation, we have in place punishments, sanctions, and other punitive measures which are designed to punish unethical behavior. We seek to be ethical because we want to comply with the rules. A second type of ethical approach is integrity-based ethics. We want to be lawful, we want to comply with the laws and not subject ourselves or our organization to sanctions, but we also want to strive for a higher purpose, things like fairness, honesty, and that type of thing. Many professionals have their own code of ethics: doctors, lawyers, accountants, and so forth. An organization should formulate and adopt its own code of ethics if it does not have one to begin with. Through the creation of relatively new positions in organizations, ethics officers, CEOs in charge of ethics, and ethics departments, many organizations have attempted to more directly operationalize ethics within the organization. Having a code of ethics is one thing. Training staff to utilize that code of ethics and conform is altogether a different one. Many organizations have created ethics awards to recognize good behavior of its own organization and of other organizations. Oftentimes, this can be a good marketing technique if your organization has been recognized by independent third-party organizations as being particularly ethical or above the board. Ethics in a global context can be tricky. Many cultures do not share the same ethical values that we do, thereby creating ethical contradictions that business must navigate. We see this in the way business is conducted through bribery, doing business with foreign dictators, totalitarian regimes, and things of that nature. Countries have passed laws to curtail bribery and other corrupt foreign practices, but it still occurs on an industrial scale. This will continue to be an issue that will plague business for a number of years to come, particularly as globalization increases.